London, on the year of our Lord Howard 2077. Son, you are standing in the greatest establishment on earth. This fine, fine city is a beacon to all the world, and the gold standard for others to follow. But father... Yes, Henry Sebastian George Theodore IV? What will happen when our fine establishment ends? Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Son, you made me laugh. Nothing will ever, ever, ever bring an end to our undefeatable kingdom. Father, it's a nuclear blast it all. London, the year is 2237 of our Lord Howard. The inhabitants of old world London could never have foreseen the devastation that awaited them in the wake of
total atomic annihilation.
This once proud city with its proud buildings was brought to its figurative knees by nuclear fire that rained from the sky. Fallout London. Why, it will be a jolly good time. Fallout London is perhaps the most ambitious upcoming Fallout 4 mod to date. What is it, and how could this mod be brilliant? Set 50 years before the events of Fallout 4, Fallout London will give Fallout players the chance to see what became of one of the areas outside of the United States of America. Very rarely do we get this chance, but we will be getting an opportunity with this mod, and boy does it look promising. Due to its world location and time period in the Fallout universe, Fallout London will act as a completely separate game to Fallout 4 and the events within. Unlike the Far Harbor DLC or the fan-made Fallout 4 Point Lookout fan creation, we won't be taking a short vacation as Nate or Nora and leaving the Commonwealth to explore a new region. No, we will be getting an almost completely new perspective on the Fallout, with many of the classic Americana Fallout tropes absent in London. Instead of Vault-Tec, we will encounter a completely different organisation, which created their own Pip-Boy device known as Atta-Boy, complete with their own version of the Vault Boy character animations. Train tickets will be used as currency instead of bottle caps. Instead of vaults, London has underground Pindar stations. Pindar stations are actually real shelters that were built to provide a place to hide in the event of
total atomic annihilation.
Main story. As described by the British version of Ron Perlman,
ravaged the earth.
During the Fallout London intro, Britain was not spared the horrors of the war. Emerging from the ashes, a group known as the Gentry established themselves as a semblance to a government and proclaimed themselves the rulers of London. Of course, this didn't go down well with the other groups who popped up in various suburbs. Foremost of these are the Fifth Column, led by Eve Varney, who might have something to say about who gets to be in charge of what's left of post-apocalyptic London. Your first view of the world is from inside your own storage tank. Two mad scientists, voiced by Sylvester McCoy, Doctor Who number 7, and Colin Baker, Doctor Who number 6, which is pretty cool I have to admit, discuss your situation. A mysterious Mr. Smythe appears in the background and talks to the mad scientists about your condition. The scientists are optimistic about your progress, to which Mr. Smythe replies, "Good." Then a little later there's an explosion and alarms. Your containment tank is damaged, allowing you to escape and explore the facility. After punching Fallout London's version of mole rats in the face, you are faced with Mr. Smythe, who introduces himself to you as Mr. Smythe. He makes some vague comments about answering your questions and sets you free, suggesting that you may get to meet him later in the game, and perhaps casting him as the antagonist of the story. Then you exit through an old metro station, I think, and board a train that takes you on a short tour of the magnificent views above the city. All in all, it didn't seem as though the starting area took too long to get through, so that's promising. The world. London and its surrounding suburbs are as varied as they are vast, and Fallout London seems to be aiming to capture this as well as they can. I counted 15 distinct areas showcased on the project's website. All of them have a very unique flavour and hold their own secrets and importance to the game's lore. The ones that caught my attention the most were Lewisham, The landscape looks quite diverse, with green squares, rubbish-filled streets, and the mysterious yet threatening bowels of Pindar Station, and any terrifying secrets that it may hold. Bromley is home to the Vagabonds and the Druids. It appears to have a mix of nature and built-up residential areas. Westminster, home to Buckingham Palace and other famous landmarks, it offers shelter to the gentry who hide behind the massive nuclear blast wall. Seeing well-known London buildings in a Fallout game will be a real treat. The factions. There are 7 main factions who contribute towards making up the world of Fallout London. At the top of the pecking order we have the gentry, who are descendants of the pre-war government. They rule from the relative safety of the impressive nuclear blast walls in Westminster. The Tommies are the self-proclaimed protectors of London. They act as a militia for the gentry. Although the gentry are in command, it's the Tommies who make things happen and may well have a say in the future of post-war London. The 5th column are the main opposition to the gentry. They are led by the popular leader Eve Varney, and are rapidly growing in strength. They aim to take down the established rulers and rebuild a better London. The Camelot movement style themselves after King Arthur and his knights of the Round Table. They fight to free London from the control of the gentry and bring a new, more fair rulership to London, one where representatives from every faction can share in the discussion. The Isle of Dogs Syndicate are the most powerful criminal organisation in London. They are very wealthy and run their faction like a well-oiled merchant operation. A violent merchant operation. They use brute force to achieve their goals and went so far as to murder the leader of the Vagabonds. The Vagabonds are the arch-enemies of the Isle of Dogs Syndicate, and style themselves after British gangsters such as the Peaky Blinders. They are led by Sebastian Gaunt, and with his gang have one mission: get revenge on the Isle of Dogs Syndicate. Finally, there's a group known as Angel. They are a mysterious group led by the elusive Mr. Smythe, who we got a glimpse of in the official gameplay reveal.
Good.
Their organisation symbol can be seen throughout the bunker in which the protagonist begins the game, and even on the player's Attaboy. Angel's motives and goals are shrouded in mystery, but judging from the opening gameplay, it seems as though we will be interacting with them throughout the story to varying degrees. They may well be London's version of Fallout 4's The Institute. Whether or not we have any family connections to Mr. Smythe remains to be seen. These factions are by no means the only groups we will encounter on the streets of London. Some other smaller groups include several minor gangs who operate within the districts owned by the bigger factions, a quirky group of nature worshippers called the Druids, secretive underground occultists, and hordes of mutated monsters. The weapons. The world of Fallout London won't include as many guns as its American cousins. However, there still will be plenty of new, unique, and location-appropriate guns for you to shoot. Also, melee weapons will be very prominent in Fallout London, as it's intended for large portions of the game to favour melee combat. The resourceful people of London have whipped up plenty of DIY weapons, similar to the pipe pistol, to make up for the relative lack of boom boom sticks. The armour and other outfits are quite heavily themed. There's armour that looks exactly like what they did pre-war, and there's other more creative pieces that go a long way to representing the flavour of their respective factions. As you can see, so much of Fallout London's content is being made from scratch, from the lore, to the locations, to the weapons and armours, and the creatures. There's no doubt about how much time and passion is going into this project. This isn't a mod for Fallout 4, it's not even a DLC. It's a completely new game. As the lead developer put it, it's Fallout 4.5. Its goal is to be more than a game about shooting things in a new setting. It has its own deep, mysterious story, with twists and turns, and surprises along the way. In fact, the developers have been very careful not to say too much so as not to spoil the plot. The various factions and new characters will explore an entirely new side to the Fallout universe, one that hasn't been seen before. The talent behind this project is impressive to say the least. The lead dev stated that they are styling the game very much in line with a Bethesda Fallout in terms of the content and tone. They are aiming for an experience as close to Bethesda's Fallout as possible, so it's no wonder Bethesda have hired several of the team members already. Probably to sabotage the game, I shouldn't wonder. I'm joking. Whatever the case may be, Fallout London is looking to become the next big installment in this beloved franchise. One thing is for sure, after the game is released, the face of post-apocalyptic London will never be the same again. Thanks for watching.
Now, I'm sure you have many questions, and perhaps someday I'll answer them. But for now, Wayfarer, let's not stand on parade.